And the next question, 5.3, is from Sue Midgley of Howlett's Lane in Ruislip, and it reads as follows. The Council predicts it will have a 78 million cumulative deficit in the dedicated schools grant by the end of the year. The statutory override government protection for this deficit expires in March 2028. What is the Council's plan to handle the 78.4 million schools deficit when the government override ends, other than hoping for a second bailout? And that's a question for Councillor O'Brien.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I thank Sue Midgley for her question this evening. So, for context, I'll refer to the Dedicated Schools Grant as the DSG within my response, just for clarity. The in-year deficit is largely driven by high needs placement demand and cost pressures which continue to be significantly underfunded in the DSG settlement from the Department for Education. This position means that the cumulative deficit carried forwards to 2026-2027 is forecast at £78.4 million, as she correctly suggests. This deficit is not the result of local decisions in Hillingdon. It reflects a national crisis in high needs funding that councils across the country have been warning about for years. The National Audit Office has already described the SEND system as financially unsustainable. Regardless of political leadership, and Hillingdon's position is entirely in line with the national picture. Locally, the Council is taking action, and this has been recognised by the Department for Education. Our in-year high needs deficit is falling year on year currently, and the strategies we have put in place are slowing the rate at which the cumulative deficit grows. But no council, including Hillingdon, can close a structural funding gap of this scale without national reform, because the system itself is set by government. The Council, therefore, like many other boroughs, awaits the announcement from the government, and for that reason it's neither realistic or credible to assume that the government will simply allow the statutory override to expire in 2028 without further measures. The County Council network, which has cross-party representation, are calling for a two-pronged approach: national restructuring of the SEND system and a national solution for the historical DSG deficits, including the option of writing them down. That is the only sustainable route forward, and is the view shared across local government. Hillingdon will continue to reduce its in-year deficit, continue changing services, and continue pressing for the national action that is essential for every local authority. What we cannot do, and what no responsible administration would pretend to do, is present a fictional fix-it problem created by a decade of national underfunding and system design failure. The Council is therefore awaiting the government's announcement on the future of the statutory override and the national plan for DSG deficits, as are councils all across the country. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.